everyone, welcome back to my second holiday video of 2020, or if you're here at any other time, welcome to this video. Today I want to show you guys how to make this adorable candy stripes and candy cane friendship bracelet tutorial. So for this bracelet here, you will need 10 strings, and of those 10 strings, you will have 5 green strands, 3 red strands, and then 2 white strands. And with this pattern specifically, you can see the candy stripe is going in a downward slant towards the left, which means we are working our candy stripe sort of backwards. So from right to left, you want to order your strings red, white, red, white, red, and then all 5 of your green strands. Now, as far as measurements go, I would definitely advise measuring at least like 35 to 40 inches because these red and white strands will definitely get eaten up super fast. Like, I was short on strands down here and even with some of my green ones. So the candy stripe portion of the bracelet to start out is going to be very smooth sailing. Go ahead and pick up your outermost right strand, which will be your red strand, and just do backward knots across all of your strings to bring it over to the outermost left side. With my first row, I kind of like to knot in a downward slope because it'll just make it easier to shape up the bracelet. And it doesn't have to be perfect, of course. It'll straighten itself out no matter what. You're going to come back to your outermost right strand, which will now be your white color, and go ahead and do backward knots on all of the strings yet again to bring it over to the outermost left side. And we are going to repeat this step with our next 3 strands, which you can see are our red and white strands. So go ahead and keep repeating those steps, and I will meet back up with you when we finally have all of the red and white strands onto the left side. Now, definitely by this point, if you would like to, you actually can adjust your bracelet so that the stripes are going downwards. Adjusting it like this will just make it a lot easier to knot. So now we're going to build up the first candy stripe, which will be this one specifically. But first we actually need to do one more line of backward knots. So with our outermost right strand, which will be our first green strand, go ahead and repeat exactly what we've been doing before. now we can start the candy cane. You're going to take your outermost right strand and you are just going to do 3 backward knots onto the next 3 strands to the left of it, which will be your green strands. Now we are going to take all of our red and white strands and all of them are going to be forward knots onto this green strand that we've been leading over. So if you've ever seen my rainbow plaid tutorial, this is a very similar concept. So you'll take your first red strand in line and do a forward knot onto the green strand. And then you take the white strand, which will be to the left of the green strand now, do a forward knot with that. And you'll repeat that process with all of the rest of the red and white strands. And then, to finish off the row, you can pick this green strand back up that we had been leading with, and just do a backward knot onto the final green strand on the very left side. Come back to your outermost right strand, and do backward knots on all of the strings to the left of it, up until you get to the very last red strand. So you will just do backward knots onto the next 6 strands to the left of it. Once you come up to your final red strand, you are going to do a forward knot onto the green strand. And then, with our leading green strand again, you're going to do forward knots onto the rest of the green strands to bring it over to the outermost left side. To finish up the last part of the candy cane, yet again come back to your outermost right strand, and this time do forward knots onto the next 4 strings to the left of it. So that'll be your last green strand, and then red, white, red. Then with your white and red strands here, they are both going to do forward knots onto the green strand. So first, do your forward knot with your white strand, and then do the forward knot with the red strand. And then, with your leading green strand again, do forward knots onto the rest of the green strands to the left of it, to bring it over to the left side. Then to finish up this candy cane section, you'll take your final green strand on the outermost right side and do forward knots across all of your strings to the left of it to bring it over to the outermost left side. And then for the next step, you are going to repeat this candy stripe section. So go ahead and repeat exactly what we did in the beginning, and when I catch up with you there, I will show you guys how to make the other candy cane. So I did also go ahead and do that row of green candy stripe just like before. So if you need to pause and do that really quick, since I forgot to mention it earlier, then go ahead and do so. So for the other candy cane, with your outermost right strand, you're going to first do 3 backward knots onto the rest of the green strands to the left of it. I'm going to go ahead and very quickly replace this green string because it is way too short. Like I said, this bracelet is a string eater. So just pretend that this green strand has always been there. So this time now, you are going to take your next 2 strings in line, which will be your red and white strand, and you will do forward knots with each string onto the leading strand. So first take your red strand and do a forward knot. And then take the white strand and do a forward knot as well. Then you will do backward knots across all of the rest of the strings to bring it over to the outermost left side. Then take the next green string on the outermost right side, and this time just do backward knots onto the next 2 strings to the left of it, which will be the rest of your green strands. Then you will take the red strand that is next in line and do a forward knot onto the leading green strand. And then you will take the green strand again and do backward knots across all of the rest of the strings to bring it over to the left side. And then come back to your outermost right side. And with the green strand, you will just do a backward knot onto the final green strand to the left of it. And then you will take all of your red and white strands, and as you go down the line, you will do a forward knot onto the leading green strand. And then you'll use your leading green strand again to do backward knots onto the rest of the green strands to the left of it to bring it to the outermost left side. But I do not think I could be able to do very good knots on all of these super short strings. So just imagine I put it on the outermost left side. And then for your very final step in this section, you will take your outermost right strand, which will be your final green strand, and do backward knots across all of the strings to the left of it to bring it to the left side. And I'm also not going to attempt that either, of course, because I can't finish this either, which is really annoying, but I promise this bracelet is really fun to make when you have plenty of string to work with. But that is how you make this adorable Stripes and Canes friendship bracelet. Thank you all for watching my second video in my holiday 2020 series. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the third and final video.